easy, Tiger. I said, look, are you dating anyone? First girl's like, kinda, it's complicated. I'm like, well, tell me about him. We talked for an hour and a half. Okay. She finally admitted, okay, he is a drug dealer. He swears a lot, drinks a lot. He's cheated on her, and her parents hate him, but I couldn't figure out why. Parents are so unfair. And then the next girl jumps in. She said, Jason, all guys are jerks. I said, no, there are so many good gentlemen. I meet them all the time. She goes, they're all jerks. She said, we were at a party 3 weeks ago. These guys came up behind a girl, and they poured a beer on her head. She's a girl. 2 weeks ago, we were at the same party. They poured a beer on another girl's head. Last weekend, we were at the same party, and they poured a beer on another girl's head. See, guys are jerks. My girls, what are you doing this weekend? They're like, we're going to the party. I'm like, I wonder where your problem's coming from. That's why I beg you girls to set the standard high. Because if you have to lower your morals to find love, it's not love that you're finding. And girls help each other. Quit the gossip. Oh, you see that girl? She is such a slut because she did that, and she's a hoe because I heard she did that. And I'm sure that gossip is very reliable at this high school. But the fact is, sluts don't even exist. Do you know I meet 100,000 students a year, and I've never met a slut? And you may be thinking, well, then you haven't met this girl yet. Okay, well, perhaps. But I'll bet you I know that girl better than you do. You don't know what she's been through. I know a girl in New York. They call her the slut at school. These people, man, who just won't give up. Did they even bother to get to know this girl? If they did, they'd back off, because I know something about her, too. I know what she's done with guys, yeah. But I also know that her brother died and her cousin died. I know when her friend committed suicide. That's when she got depressed, started cutting herself. Obviously, it didn't help because she wasn't loving her body. She slept with the guy at work. He got her pregnant. He said, I don't want your baby. Shoved her down the stairs. She had a miscarriage, lost the baby. Now she's depressed and going through eating disorders. And you know what she is, my friends? Slut, right? Doesn't that identify her perfectly? They had no clue what she's been through. So I beg you, take the labels off. Give each other the freedom to start over. Nobody in here is perfect. Girl in Baltimore gave me a big hug, starts crying after the talk. She says, Jason, thank you. She took her Playboy bunny necklace, ripped it off of her neck and said, I am so done, and gave it to me. I showed her necklace at the next school. A girl from that campus gave me her Playboy bunny necklace. I was given a third one, fourth, fifth, no kidding. I have 28 of them now, so I could sell them on eBay, but I wouldn't do that. And girls just started giving me stuff. Playboy purses, belly button rings, birth control. Guys started getting into it. One guy in LA gave me his official Pimp Daddy membership card, so I got one of those. And then one guy gave me his Viagra pencil. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to know. It was his way of starting over, so whatever helps. So where do the guys go from here today? I think guys can have different reactions to chastity talk. First reaction, you kind of make fun of it and blow it off. Check out what the other fellas think. What do you guys think? What do you think? Because girls, look, in high school, we want to impress you girls, but I'm sorry. In high school, we're just way more interested in impressing the other guys. Because until a man knows he is a man, he's always going to be trying to prove he is one. If I think degrading you makes me more of a man, got to do what I got to do to win points with the boys because I'm really insecure. But what's needed is authenticity. I can't be one guy on Saturday night, a different guy on Sunday. One guy in front of her parents, her backs are turned, I become somebody else. It demands you have no duplicity. In New York, 3 basketball players came up. Man, I love basketball. I started talking. They're sleeping with all these girls. I said to him, how do you want some guy to treat your daughter one day? He said, we're not having daughters. We're just having boys. I'm like, oh. I'm like, why don't you want a daughter? And he was honest. He said, I know what I'm doing to girls. He said, I'd kill a guy if you ever did that to my princess behind my back. So there's the solution. Use girls that don't have a daughter. I said, guys, just tell me one thing. Tell me about your relationship with your dads. And they said, sucks. I go, what's going on? All 3 of them had deadbeat dads. Got the moms pregnant, left her with responsibilities, man enough to get a girl pregnant, but not man enough to be a daddy. And so they're raised without a father. And these guys, one guy said, I don't even know how many brothers and sisters I have because my dad's been around with other women. I looked him in the face. I said, congratulations, you're becoming your father. You should have seen the guy's eyes open up. He finally got the point. If he wanted to give his kids a better dad than he ever had, the time to man up is now because marriage preparation starts today if that's what you feel called to. And so what's needed is that authenticity. We were at school, they're the best basketball team in America. After the talk, the star of the team came up to me. This guy's like 13 feet tall. He walks up, he's like, yo, can we talk in the back? I'm like, yes, come with me. And I took his hand and we went back here. I'm like, what's going on up there? He said, man, he goes, be honest with you, he's like, I've been with so many girls. I've done so much stuff. He's like, I knew every time I was killing her. But dude, she wanted it. I wanted it. Half the time I was drunk, just blame it on the beer. And he said, nowadays, he said, girls today, he said, they are more sexually aggressive than the guys half the time. Like, you should see the nasty text messages they're sending around. He said, but after talk, it's different. He said, I want to be faithful to my wife before I meet her. He goes, I don't want to get married, giving my wife all these memories I have of girls I'm never going to see again when I graduate. He said, but how do you start over when you've been where I've been? He said, when you're with the girl, she says she's ready for sex. How do you say no to that? I said, dude, if she thinks she's ready for sex and she's not ready to be a mother, she's got no clue what she's talking about. Boston, 7th grade boy came up to me. Jason, my girlfriend and I have talked. We're ready. I'm like, it's 12. I'm like, ready? Are you ready to be a father? And he said, no, just for sex. So after explaining to him the shocking connection they just discovered between the two, I said, look, you know I'm married, got a couple of kids. I go, you know what you don't know about me? Our first baby has had so many medical problems. He's had to be in all these different hospitals. You know, the first 2 years of being a new dad, I spent more than $30,000 in medical bills on him. So I could have the best doctors in our nation taking care of my sick boy. And you got what it takes to be a good father. You ready for sex? He opened up his wallet, showed me his money. He said, I have $5. And I'm like, buy her a pizza. I mean, if you love a girl, you sacrifice, you prove it. I'm not going to lie. It's not easy, but you can make it easier because we cause most of our own temptations. Make it easy. Number one, find good friends. My friends in high school were terrible if you wanted to be pure. Best friend and I, driving home from school, he pulls the car into the parking lot of a pornographic adult bookstore. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I want to go in the nudie bookstore. I'm like, don't go in some nudie bookstore, you filthy little pervert. And he's like, well, I'm going in there. I'm like, I'm not going in there. I'm not some perv. My porn's at home. I'm sitting there like 5 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, look at my watch. What is he doing in there? And it dawned on me, Jason, you made a really stupid choice of friends. But that I found better friends, man, it was so much easier to lead a good life. Second thing to make it easy, only date a girl if you can really see yourself marrying her. That's the whole point of dating anyway, to find a future spouse. And we can do all the strategies in the world, but in the end, chastity does not begin until you learn that you cannot do this on your own. You have to turn to God. It's a gift from Jesus Christ. He'll give it to you if you want it. If you want it, go get it. If you're Catholic, go to confession. If you're not Catholic, open the Bible, Psalm 51 for a clean heart. But if you're Catholic, go to confession. And some people are like, oh, no, I'm not going to talk to the priest. What if I tell him what I did? It's like, that's the point. I mean, what do you think you invented a sin? He's going to call the Vatican. I've never heard of this one before. I mean, just go, and go at least once a month. You feel so much better. Second thing is never leave the Mass. My wife and I try to go to Mass every day because every grace I need to love her, I get from the most blessed sacrament, that fountain of purity. Never leave the Mass. Third thing was huge for me, was devotion to Our Lady, the Rosary. As a guy, you look at porn, how long does it take to look at porn? 15 minutes? I'll tell you honestly, it feels like it takes 15 years to forget what you saw. So for me, it was devotion to Our Lady that just taught me how to look at girls again. Keep a rosary in your pocket. Pray it every day. You can't do that? Okay, you can't do 15 minutes. One Hail Mary a day for your purity. If you can't do that, okay, I'll meet you there. Just say the name of Mary when you're tempted, and she'll come through for you. If you stay faithful in these little devotions, you'll make it. And to help you live out this lifestyle, we've got stuff for you. One thing is Crystal and I launched websites. Mine is called chastityproject.com, and she launched one for women only called womenmadenew.com, because she said, Jason, I want to launch a website only for girls. Because she said, Jason, stuff happens to girls. She said, real serious stuff happens to girls. She said, you know what the girls do with that stuff? She said, they stuff their stuff. They put their makeup on, their hair looks great, but she said inside, they're so afraid to start crying because then they're afraid they're never going to stop crying, so they numb themselves with false consolations, smoking some weed, getting drunk, hooking up with the boy, eating disorders. But she said it's all to numb the pain of a wound that isn't being healed. She said, I want to launch this website and show women that you can face it, you can own it, and you can heal it. We've got the websites for you. But the best gift I have for you is, as of today, I have asked well over 25,000 people to be praying for you. I have put a post on my Facebook and Twitter this morning, and I said, hey, we're going to give this chastity talk, filming a DVD, please pray. And all of these prayers from around the world. I check afterwards, they're praying for us in Brazil, Argentina, and Italy. All these prayers are descending on you. All I ask in return, please pray for all of the students we speak to. Please pray for all the students who are going to watch this video. Those of you students watching the video, pray for the other students who are going to be watching this thing. Why? Because I could speak to your future husband or wife one day. You never know what lifestyle they could be in. That's why I beg your prayers. And I know I said a lot today about future husband, future wife. Some of you may be called to the single life, have intimacy with God there. Some of you may be called to priesthood, the religious life. Girls, guys, do not be afraid and run from that vocation. And I know today we said a lot about boyfriend, girlfriend. I know most of you do not have a boyfriend, do not have a girlfriend. Good. Good for you. Don't be like me. I started dating like 6th, 7th grade. One girl back then actually broke up with me because I forgot that I was dating her. I was like, whoa, I know, high maintenance, but you're under this like pressure. You don't have a boyfriend? You don't have a girlfriend? You never kissed anybody? What's wrong with it? It's ridiculous. 7th grader says, Jason, I got a relationship problem. Can you help me? I'm like, yeah. He said, I dated a girl for 3 years and it was really serious. I took a year off. Now I like another girl. I'm like, wait a minute. This guy's 12. He just took a year off a 3-year serious relationship, meaning the guy was 8 years old in a serious relationship. I'm like, what are you guys even doing on dates together? Watching Blue's Clues or something? Like, what do you fight about? I want Dora, I want Diego. Oh, you have time, okay? My high school was 1,000 students. Today I know 2 of them. My wife's high school is 3,000 students. Today she knows none of them. Your life is gonna go so far beyond the 4 walls of your school. That's why one girl told me, she said, Jason, you're right. You don't go to high school looking for a husband. She said, you go to high school to find your bridesmaids. I said, girl, you get the point to take your time. Because when a girl doesn't take her time, you watch what happens, man. She meets some cute guy. They start flirting. They start texting. They start hooking up and hanging out. And then 2 weeks into it, takes off like a rocket, and then it dawns on her. Ooh, I didn't know he looks at porn. I didn't know he drinks so much. I didn't know he flirts with the girls. I didn't know he builds a methamphetamine lab in his closet with his friends on Wednesdays. Well, I didn't know that. Sweetheart, thus the point to take your time, to find yourself first and then let love find you. Now, last thing is this. If I had 60 seconds to talk to you guys, it's the only thing I'd tell you. And there's only one thing you hear from me, it's all it's got to be. If after hearing our talk today, maybe your heart's heavy, you got some thinking you have to do, all you need to know is one thing, how God looks at you for doing that stuff. And this is how he sees you. Dad, a few years ago, dropped his son off at preschool. He said, I love you, I'll pick up after school, promise come get you. Kissed his boy, drove to work. Huge earthquake struck Armenia. The dad shoots back. It's too late. School's collapsed. Faculty's dead. Dad shows up. He said, I know my boys in that school. Starts tearing off the rocks and the glass. Dug for an hour, 5 hours, 10. His knuckles are bleeding open. His back's cramped up. Dug for 20 hours. Like you guys, fathers one day, dig for your kid forever. People mocked him. Give up. They're gone. Accept it. He dug for 30 hours. And he said, all I could think when I dug for my boy is a promise I always made to him. No matter what happens, I'm always going to be there for you. 38 hours later, he lifted up a board, and then under that was the face of his son. And he looked down upon his son, and his son looked up to him and said, Papa. And his son turned to 14 kids who were trapped alive with him and said, see, told you my daddy was coming to get me. I told you he promised. This is the love of the Heavenly Father. It doesn't matter where you've been or where you've done. Everybody can start over. You guys have been an awesome audience. We love you guys. Have a beautiful life. Thank you guys very much. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, before you're allowed to escape, they're going to open the curtains here. I want to show you one quick thing. And what this is, I'm checking my Facebook page, I don't know, back in September. Who puts a post on my Facebook? But this girl who heard my talk clear back in middle school, and we gave them these little chastity commitment card deals, and she signed it, and then she puts this post on my Facebook. She said, Jason, you spoke to me in middle school. You gave us that little card to commit. She said, I did it. And I hung onto that card. She said, I'm all grown up now. I want to show you what I did with this card. So take a peek at this video, and I think it'll speak for itself.
So Emily told me at one point that the one thing that she wanted more than anything on her wedding day, hopefully besides me, was that she wanted to have this all filmed and have this be something that we could share together for the rest of our lives. We didn't think it was going to be possible, but honey, this is your wedding gift, and I'm so happy to be able to give it to you.
I got lots of smiles. No way! That is the coolest present ever.
This is something that she, I don't know exactly when she did this, but she was in middle school. She made a commitment that she would save herself for the man that she was going to marry. And she told me she had this card and she thought she was going to try to find it. Doesn't matter what's in this box. That's pretty freaking awesome.
Well, you're Why are you 10,000 miles from here? Well, I've been thinking of how far we've come from last year. But baby, you're 10,000 miles from here. Well, you're setting sails, I'll be here slamming nails in my chest, building a place for you to come and lay your head. 'Cause I've been counting the days since I first kissed you, my babe. Why are you 10,000 miles away? Well, you're sound asleep 10,000 miles, lost at sea. You know I'll be here counting sheep inside my head, tossing and turning on my bed. But this is not where it will end. I promise you we'll meet again. For though I lost you out at sea, I will find you in my dream. I will find you in my dream.
And if you look at just a couple things in this video that kind of sums up everything, well, one, you'll notice they're not bumping and grinding. That's always important. He's not behaving like a golden retriever in heat. And then back up a little. Look at the way the guy looks at his bride. Lost in her. Absolutely lost in her at the moment of their vows. And at this moment in their life, if anyone ever mocked them for chastity, how much did their opinions matter at that moment? Absolutely nothing, because they waited and they won. And if I could brand into your head a single image of what the virtue of chastity is ultimately about, it's this: an image of Christ's love for his church. Not killing your sexual desires, but setting them ablaze. Because if you see God's plan for human love, I'm telling you, lust looks boring. And if you don't believe me, look at the guy in the corner. He knows what I'm talking about. He's pretty excited about it. So God bless you guys again. You guys have been an awesome audience. Thanks so much.